A Kidnapped Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum. Part 3, Kidnapped Santa Claus.
Last week, we ended with Santa Claus being jerked from his sleigh mid-flight. Let's continue today with Part 3, Kidnapped Santa Claus.
Such a surprising experience confused old Santa for a moment, and when he had collected his senses, he found that the wicked demons had pulled him from the snowdrift and bound him tightly with many coils of the stout rope. And then they carried the kidnapped Santa Claus away to their mountain, where they thrust the prisoner into a secret cave and chained him to the rocky wall so that he could not escape.
Ha ha, laughed the demons, rubbing their hands together with cruel glee.
What will the children do now? How they will cry and scold and storm when they find there are no toys in their stockings and no gifts on their Christmas trees. And what a lot of punishment they will receive from their parents. And how they will flock to our caves of selfishness and envy and hatred and malice. We have done a mighty clever thing, we demons of the caves.
Now it so chanced that on this Christmas Eve, the good Santa Claus had taken with him in his sleigh Nutter the Rill, Peter the Knook, Kilter the Pixie, and a small fairy named Whisk, his 4 favorite assistants.
These little people he had found very useful in helping him to distribute his gifts to the children. And when their master was so suddenly dragged from the sleigh, they were all snugly tucked underneath the seat, where the sharp wind could not reach them.
The tiny immortals knew nothing of the capture of Santa Claus until some time after he had disappeared. But finally, they missed his cheery voice, and as their master always sang or whistled on his journeys, the silence warned them that something was wrong.
Little Whisk stuck out his head from underneath the seat and found Santa Claus gone. No one to direct the flight of the reindeer.
"Whoa!" he called out, and the deer obediently slackened speed and came to a halt.
Peter and Nutter and Kilter all jumped upon the seat and looked back over the track made by the sleigh. But Santa Claus had been left miles and miles behind.
"What shall we do?" asked Whisk anxiously, all the mirth and mischief banished from his wee face by this great calamity.
"We must go back at once and find our master," said Nutter the Rill, who thought and spoke with much deliberation.
"No, no," explained Peter the Knook, who, cross and crabbed though he was, might always be depended upon in an emergency. "If we delay or go back, there will not be time to get the toys to the children before morning, and that would grieve Santa Claus more than anything else."
"It is certain that some wicked creatures have captured him," added Kilter thoughtfully, "and their object must be to make the children unhappy. So our first duty is to get the toys distributed as carefully as if Santa Claus were himself present. Afterwards, we can search for our master and easily secure his freedom."
Join us next week when we find out what Peter, Nutter, Kilter and Whisk decide to do.